What's up, guys? This is House Cat MMA, and right now I'm going to go over the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight a little bit, and I'm also going to talk about why I do not think that the Jake Paul fights are rigged. But before I get into all that, if you would just take about a second to like and subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. Now, as far as the Jake Paul fights go, like I was saying, I do not think they're rigged. I think they're carefully set up. I don't think they're rigged. I think when Jake Paul was first getting his boxing shit popping and he won a couple of fights, I think he was kind of, he'd get on the horn with his managers or just the powers that be. And he'd just be like, hey, give me a UFC guy, relatively big name, very little striking, no striking preferably. Ben Askren, 37 years old? I'll take it. Beats Ben Askren. And then he gets back on the horn and he goes, hey, give me another UFC guy who's a little bit better than Ben Askren, a little bit better striking, a little bit bigger name. Tyron Woodley lost 4 straight, 39 years old. Shit, I'll take it. I'll fight him twice. Wins both those fights, and then it's like he gets on the horn again, tells his managers, hey, give me a legend whose skills are still held to a high regard. Anderson Silva, 47 years old, 2-7 in his last 9. Set it up. Beats Anderson Silva. He gets back on the horn. He's like, hey, they're giving me too much hell for fighting these UFC guys. Give me a boxer. But no, I don't want to be too good, though. Tommy Fury, shit, that's going to be a tough one. Set it up. I ain't no bitch. Loses that fight. He's like, all right, guys, I need another UFC guy. Big name. Nate Diaz. Just beat Tony Ferguson? God, we could sell the fuck out of that fight. Set it up. Beats Nate Diaz. And then he fights Andre August and Ryan Borland. Easy money. Then he's like, hey, I need a big name whose skills are still held to a high regard. Current fighter or guy who's semi-retired, don't matter. Not overly talented, though. Or a guy who was once overly talented but can't make his body do what it used to. Mike Perry. God, he's been killing it in bare knuckle. Yeah. All right, cool. Set it up. All right, he beats Mike Perry. He impressed me in that fight. And that is, if you just watch that fight, that'll kind of prove that the fights aren't rigged. You can't fake the level of scrap they were in. And you can't. And Jake Paul is not a good enough actor to fake wear the concern he had on his face. Like, he was winning the whole time, but he was getting tapped. And Perry hits hard, and he was getting hit, and he just didn't like it much. So he wins that fight, and then he gets back on the horn with the powers that be, and he's like, hey, give me a legend whose skills are still held to a high regard. Mike Tyson, fuck. 58 years old. God, they're really going to give me hell for that one. But fuck it, let's go. And that fight, that's the closest I've come to thinking a fight was rigged between Jake Paul and someone else. But I think that it was somewhat fixed. I think they might have been told to make it a sparring match, and whoever wins wins. It was a weird fight, but he wins that one. Then he gets back on the horn with his managers, and he's like, hey, give me another big name. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You just beat Uriah Hall. Fuck, that's tough. Fuck it, set it up. And he wins. So, and I don't know why it's such a tough sell that Jake Paul is an okay boxer. That's what he is. He's an okay boxer. He can kind of box his dick off. Because he's at a level right here. And he kind of flirts with a level that's right here. But he's still kind of right here. And he's about to fight Anthony Joshua, and that's a guy who's at a level way up here. Anthony Joshua is 28-4 as a pro, 25 knockouts, has a win over Vladimir Klitschko, fought Usyk to a split decision, So it's kind of weird. It's a kind of like what Brendan Schaub was saying. It's a ballsy move on Jake's part. And also what Brendan Schaub was saying, that this is kind of going to be the fight that's going to prove if the fights are rigged or not. Because if Jake is at any rate in the fight with Joshua, okay, then we know. Because Joshua is a former WBC champion. He's a former IBF champion. He's going to be 5 inches taller in there, at least 30 pounds heavier. He's probably going to weigh in like 245. And Jake can bulk up to 240 easy. All he's got to do is eat 6, 7, maybe 8,000 calories in a day, whilst also doing his training, and he'll be up to 240 in 23 days, maybe 40. I don't know. But the difference is Anthony Joshua is 245 in fight shape, and let's say Jake bulks up for this fight, he'll be 240. If he does bulk up to 240, which I don't think he will, then that's bulked up 240. Built like a strong man in 1908. So yeah, I really wonder what's going to happen in this fight. I'm going to watch. Because this is like Schaub was saying, this is going to be the fight that proves if the shits are rigged or not. Because you got to think, with the way Jake Paul fights, like the way he fought Mike Perry, with the way he fought Tyron Woodley, he was the longer guy, so he's kind of able to stick and circle, stick and move a little bit, but he's just not gonna. I think that it's possible that Joshua could knock him out without even looking. So that's all I have on that. I'm very interested in this fight, but this is House Cat MMA, and I'll catch y'all later.